Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. We are in Oklahoma City, Will Rogers World Airport. We're getting ready to fly down to Baton Rouge, part of the event that VATSIM has going on to celebrate the release of the new New Orleans scenery, which I don't have, so I'm going to avoid that. But I do think it would be fun to fly down in that area, kind of test things out here, make sure that we remember how to fly this plane. This is the AeroWorks DC-3, and if you follow along, you know that I have not flown the X-Plane version of this. This is a plane that I'm semi-familiar with. I do like the P3D version, the Manfred John version, and this is the same. These are the same developers that have worked on this plane, but it's just a little bit different here and there. It has some things I like about it and some things that I don't like about it, but nonetheless, it's still a very, very fun aircraft to fly, and it's been a while since we've been in it. So that's the plan for tonight, is to fly from Oklahoma City down to Baton Rouge. Here is the flight plan. Oops, make sure I grab the correct window here in case you feel like joining along. There's plenty of time to do so. It's a little bit of a trek, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 48 minutes, so we're going to get right to it. But as you can see, southerly departure. It's kind of interesting. The Will Rogers has a bunch of departures, but they are all, oh, for Pete's sake, they're all RNAV departures. I got something highlighted here. I have to take my word for it here. So yeah, all these departures, funnel 3, etc., 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 all RNAV. So we're just gonna see what the controller tells us, and I'm guessing that we'll probably be able to do something similar to this. Grab the Oklahoma City VOR and Will Rogers, I guess, India Romeo Whiskey, and head down to, is this Ardmore? Yeah, Ardmore, and then slide ourselves down southeast past the Mineola Quitman, and then as you can see, we have a little bit of weather here by the Longview VOR, and we're pretty much along our route until we get here, Alexandria, and then it starts to let up a little bit, but it could be impacting us as we make our way into Baton Rouge. I have not flown into Baton Rouge before, so this should be fun. It's X-Plane, so it's all feels so new to me right now, and which is really, really cool. But that's the plan for today. Let's just take a quick look at the Vatastic map so you can see what's going on in the world of flight sim this evening. And as you can see, a pretty well lit up area here in the south and the east in the United States. There's a little bit of stuff going on here down here in the Caribbean, or just off the northern part of South America. And yes, Europe, Asia, they've gone to bed, which is not unexpected. Although, what is this area here? Korea. South Korea has some ATC action. Oh, and a little bit of stuff going on down here in Australia, Sydney. So lots of choices. Oh yeah, there we go. A couple of other areas down here in South America. So lots of variety as always, even on a Wednesday night, to go and fly around and have some fun. So I hope you're able to get out and enjoy yourself in the VATSIM world. The other thing I hope is that I'm going to be able to get this plane started, because it's a little different startup procedure. So let's, first things first, let's get connected to VATSIM. And that'll work. Oh, we got some people getting home from their day at work, I think, upstairs. You can hear the alarm system going off. And yes, we'll be, let's see, let me get that route put back in here. Sorry, I didn't have my X-Pilot fired up, so I just have to enter that route really quickly. I would say we'd be able to get rolling here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. And I'm going to file at about 160 for our cruise speed. And let's see, what do I have to have for altitude here? I better take a look at that. I think I'm gonna file at let's file at 11,000 feet. We may have to adjust based on weather, but we will at least start out at 11,000 feet. Alright, just about have that filed. There we go, file flight plan. And we do have control. Let's see, what will we have here for Oklahoma City? I think that's in the Fort Worth area, if I'm not mistaken. Fort Worth Center 135.75. Alright, so we do have that, but like I said, let's see if we can get this bird started here, because it is slightly different from what the P3D version, the flow is anyway. Most of it's the same. Batteries coming on, the doors will close, all that good stuff. Parking brakes are already set. We will turn the beacon and the nav lights on. We do need to put the cabin signs on, and we might as well put the anti-collision lights on. This is not simulated in the P3D version, so I don't know exactly where that falls in the checklist, but that's kind of nice. Alright, we'll turn these cowl flaps to open, and flight controls, they are free and correct. Alright, here we go. And then we're going to put the, let's see, everything here. Mixture goes to, here's where it gets a little different. Mixture goes to full rich. Prop levers come fully forward. Throttle is cracked. We are going to turn the fuel pump on for engine number 2. We are going to put the magnetos on. Give it a couple, 3 or 4 shots of primer. Hey, there we go. That's a good sign. And all of our pressure's looking good here. Turn that generator on. Let's repeat the process here for the number 1 engine. So, fuel pump is on. Magnetos. Give it a little bit of primer. And there it goes. Very good, very good. And nothing, no red lights, no warnings, none of that stuff, so that's good. Generator can come on. Do need to turn the inverters on. Radio master is already on. Flaps are up. Mixture auto rich. Pull that back just ever so slightly. And let's get ourselves checked in here with Fort Worth Center. Yeah, we're just right at the top edge of Fort Worth Center. So 135.17. There we go. I can hear him. Fort Worth Center, good evening, Frontier Flight 113. we have the weather at Oklahoma City. We'd like to request IFR down to Baton Rouge.
Frontier Flight 113, Fort Center. Good evening. Clear to Baton Rouge Airport. Radar vectors Will Rogers VOR, then as filed. Maintain 5,000, expect 11,000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.17, squawk 2237.
Cleared to Baton Rouge. Radar vectors Will Rogers, then as filed. Will maintain 5,000, expect 11,000. Departure with you, squawk 2237, Frontier Flight 113.
Frontier Flight 113, read back correct. Expect runway 17 left, or correction, right for departure. Call for taxi. The city altimeter 3003.
17 right, we'll give you a call for taxi, Frontier Flight 113. Alright, very good, very good. Cleared as filed, you gotta love that. So,
Center, I'd like to take a shortcut to Grant County, DOR.
wait a second, that's ADF.
Delta 255. Actually, I'll see if I can do a better one. Just stand by.
I've got a little bit of an issue here. There we go. All right. I was in a moment of panic. I had to remember where the where you put the transponder code in here. 3003. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll turn that on to on, and we're squawking Charlie on X Pilot. Very good. So we're cleared. Climb to 5,000. We'll get radar vectors Will Rogers. The Will Rogers VOR is, let's see, what is it here? 114.10.
2028.
Alright, I've got that actually in already.
Whiskey, runway 13 right approach. Loud altimeter.
That's a nice coincidence.
3012.
And let's see, what else? Head through the rest of the checklist here before taxi.
Southwest 2028, expect the RNAV
I have that already in. Yep, we're ready, I think. Things are warmed up and sounding good.
RNAV or Whiskey.
17 right. So I believe, I'm not positive, but I think I spawned somewhere over here. So that actually should lead us to a fairly short taxi up Alpha, and then we'll be on our way. And actually a southerly departure is nice because that takes us down right past the Will Rogers VOR and on our way on this Victor Airway right here, the Victor 17. And Fort Worth Center, Frontier Flight 113, ready for taxi.
Frontier Flight 113, runway 13 right, or correction, 17 right, taxi via Alpha.
17 right via Alpha, Frontier Flight 113. Alright, good deal. Now, alright. Yep, we're on the tarmac here, and I think this is the runway up here. I think this is Alpha. This is a rather large ramp area. Yeah, there's the, don't go on there because that's the runway marking.
Delta 255, clear direct, Alexandria VOR Alpha.
Keep
Echo
peeking over the
X-ray.
nose here a little
Direct
bit.
to Alexandria, Delta 255, thank you.
We'll be intercepting the 115. Sorry, the 155 outbound radio from Will Rogers. I am guessing that we'll be flying runway heading. Ooh, and something I need to do here real quick. Something that is different about this plane is that the compasses aren't always, or they don't automatically start synced up. So we're going to do that here real quick. We need to get everything synced up here. I'm saying we're about, it's like almost 280. Maybe not quite. And there-ish. And then this guy as well needs to be spun around. Alright, and then I'm going to put in, let's see, we'll probably get runway heading 175. So that would be, I'm putting you right in there. So the autopilot's a little different. It's one of the things I actually really like about this version. You don't have to pull up the 2D pop-out autopilot. You have the ability to control everything just based on your 3D cockpit, which is nice.
Civic 3626, effective visual approach, runway 18 right.
Turn it on. All the heading and everything is down here. The altitude hold, all that stuff is down here. So it's kind of nice. I like that. Don't have to use any of that 2D stuff. Memphis, Frontier Flight 113, holding short, 17 right, ready to depart. Ready for departure.
Frontier Flight 113 on departure, flight heading 110, wind 20 at 5, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
Heading 110, 17 right, clear for takeoff, Frontier Flight 113. Yeah, Nix, I made the jump over. At least I'm putting my toe in the water. I don't know if I've fully made the jump over, but let's go quarter flaps. It's been a lot of fun. I have had a blast.
Flight 113 actually, and the heading, fighting 150 on departure.
150, Frontier Flight 113. It's been a lot of fun learning. I've had a lot of help setting things up, which has made it doable. I was holding off. Finals clear. Runway's clear. I was holding off doing it because I was worried about the amount of time it was going to take to get everything set up. But when you've got some good buddies in your corner that can help out, it sure does make the process a lot easier. And that's been the case here for my setup. It's taken a fraction of the time just because I've had guys that have said, no, don't do that, do this. Or here's what that means. And we're flying. Gear will come up.
Southwest 2020, proceed direct, went up.
So we're flying basically runway heading here. Dakota pilot, hey, all right. We have a Garmin hidden away.
Direct, went up, Whiskey, Echo, November, Oscar, Papa.
Click the name plate on the Sperry. Oh, very nice. Yeah, good to know. Shouldn't need it. I've got the Sky Vector next to me here and feel pretty good about navigating this relatively short hop on down to Baton Rouge. So we're trying to intercept the outbound Will Rogers VOR, and we need to put that on. Yeah, we're just about a mile away from it, so we'll fly right over the top of it. And we are also, we have an altitude restriction of 5,000 here that we need to keep track of. Yeah, the Sperry is fun. I like the older the better, man. It's
Pacific
just
3626.
a ton of
You,
fun.
you flying
So
the,
you can use the other autopilot below the DME. Yeah, that's kind of what I use. It's about as advanced as I get in this plane. All right, we need to pull the RPMs back just a little bit here,
3626, right.
and the manifold pressure can come back. Coming up on 5,000, and we'll level out here in just about 1,000 more feet to go. We went past the DME. This should start to come around, and oh, I'm not doing a very good job of maintaining my my 150 here. The one thing I don't like about the X-Plane version is it is almost a little too responsive, if that makes sense. It when you turn in the P3D version, it's kind of a little bit slower and kind of lumbers a little bit and kind of, you know. This one here, it almost feels like a fighter jet. Alright, so here we go. We just about have the outbound. Ooh, that's a good call, Dakota Pilot. I didn't think about that. I may need to do that because right now it's just way too responsive comparatively. Alright, so there's our 5,000, by the way. We need to be leveling off. That is a very, very good call. Did you do the same thing, Dakota? Did you kind of back it off a little bit so it wasn't quite so responsive? Alright, I'm not on the 150, but I'm going to put the heading, or I'm going to engage the autopilot. I'm getting quite a bit of crosswind here. In the Den's A. Hello. Thanks for stopping by, man. Welcome to the AeroWorks DC-3. We're flying from Will Rogers down to Baton Rouge. Dakota Pilot's trying to help me get dialed in here because I'm still getting used to this bird. I've flown it quite a bit in P3D, but this is a whole new experience, and I am liking it. Alright, before I get too much further here, I probably should check in.
3626, turn right, heading 150. Vector visual approach from a 18 right.
Okay, turn right, heading 150.
Top of 255, contact Houston Center, 126.95.
Okay, fuel pumps can come off. Landing lights, taxi lights can come off. Frontier Flight 113, level of 5,000.
Frontier Flight 113 for Center, Roger. I'm actually having issues with your track. Stand by.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Ooh, boy, look at that. That was quite the crosswind there. I'm still kind of coming to terms, another thing, with X-Plane, and this is the default X-Plane weather, and I have found that it has a tendency to, I don't know, have little microbursts like that just kind of out of nowhere. But let's see, 30.
Center, Delta 676, passing 5,000 for 10.
Nothing about this beauty, free and better. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Use the NOAA for now. So I need to know how to do that because this is part of what I am not. I'm not great at is configuring stuff like that. Why is my gear still down?
Pacific 3626, field's going to be 1 o'clock, 15 miles port side.
Roger, field.
Pretend you didn't see that, guys.
3626, clear visual approach, runway 18 right.
There we go. I think I'm going to have to make that jump, Dakota Pilot. It's probably going to be the first add-on that I pay for. And it might have almost been the first add-on I paid for in P3D also, to be honest with you. But I am a little...
113 radar contact 12 miles southeast of Will Rogers VOR. Proceed direct Ardmore, climb and maintain 11,000.
Direct Ardmore and climb and maintain 11,000. Frontier Flight 113. I know what's going on with my gear. My push to talk button is also mapped apparently to raising and lowering the gear. So that's not good. Okay, so direct Ardmore. So I think what I'm going to do is this. Let's get headed over there and see if we can just intercept that outbound. And then once we kind of get there, I'm going to pause and...
Okay, do you need radar vectors or can you go to a VOR?
Alright, we're going to start to climb here. Yeah, we're just doing slant alpha navigation here. We're just VOR to VOR. I'll show you the route here in just a second. So currently we have, this is the Will Rogers VOR tuned in, and we're trying to fly the outbound 155. So we're just a little bit to the left of that track. So I'm trying to track my way back. In fact, if I turned to 180, that probably would get me back to where I'm intercepting. Once I intercept that, then I'll go ahead and engage the nav mode, and I'll let the autopilot take it. But I'd also like to start to climb a little bit here to altitude. I don't have that still selected, do I? No, I do maybe. Don't need the autopilot on right now. Alright, there we go. There, just about intercepting that outbound. So let's turn this on. Let's turn the nav on. It'll kind of take over our heading mode a little bit. It'll probably slightly overcorrect, but that's kind of how it goes. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and continue our climb up to 11,000. And let me show the den's eye what our route is. So yeah, we're about right here, I would say, maybe down in here a little bit. This first leg is 32 to right there, and then another 26 in. So 72 total actually is what it's telling me here. So I must, oh, there's 14. I missed a little bit. But yeah, tracking that outbound down here to Ardmore, and then we'll make a left-hand turn and we'll go from there.
Back at 2570, radar contact 30 miles south of M Grove VOR. Welcome back.
So 20, almost 20 miles, 19.4 miles out. We'll make that switch over. And something happened on the stream. I can't tell what happened, but whatever happened, thanks for the follow or the host or whatever. Appreciate that, guys. It's fun to have people along.
Do you think vectors would just be easier, or do you want to try to go to a VOR?
So we'll track this outbound to 32, and then we'll flip it over to Ardmore. In the meantime, I wonder if it'd be...
Vectors for DFW.
I'm going to do this real quick. I know you're not supposed to do this, but this is going to be a pain in the neck if I have... Yeah, I got to do this. Landing gear toggle. I got to do this. None. All right, do nothing. Okay, there we go. That way it's not... There you go. Now it's not letting my landing gear down every time I want to talk to ATC. That would be a bad thing. Alright, climb is looking good. Our temps and pressures are all looking good. We can't... Oh, there's the X-plane weather thing happening again. which I'm okay with as long as it's not on short final. We can go ahead. Let's pull these guys back to trail. This is something I like better about the X-Plane version. The P3D version, you weren't able to do trail on the 3D model. You had to use the 2D autopilot to put it on trail, so that's kind of a nice thing. But yeah, everything here looking good and making good airspeed. Fuel pressures are good, oil pressure very good. 32 and 22 I think is what we want here once we get to climb or to cruise. And yeah, my airspeed maybe is actually a hair low, but if we can keep it up above 100, I think I'd be just fine. So alright, so anyway, Dakota Pilot was talking to me about how he has modified the response curves on his. He took a local flight on a clear day, played with each axis until it felt good. Yeah, I just feel like, again, it's just slightly too responsive, and maybe the P3D is not responsive enough, but climb at 90 to 110 or 110 depending on, yeah, if you want to get there faster. Yeah, it takes time to get those curves set up, absolutely, but it's time well spent. I mean, it's fun to mess around with. And so the other thing, so the Denzai, you're saying that you can use the NOAA weather in, I'm assuming that that's just one of these options up here in my X-Plane menu. I'm very, very new to X-Plane, by the way, so Nick's Aviation and Dakota Pilot, they kind of know that I don't have very many hours in X-Plane, but yeah, this is part of the learning curve, and it's really nice to have people that know what they're doing. Oh yeah, there we go. So here we go. Clouds building up just out of nowhere. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to I'm just going to have to bite the bullet, invest in Active Sky. One thing I did download today, though, was, I think it's called Sky Vision, and it's supposed to help with the colors in the sky, and I don't know if it does anything with the cloud textures or not. But the one thing that I'm still not quite liking is just the kind of the gray haze of the default X-Plane sky. So I'm fiddling around, and there's plenty of free things, which is really nice. And that's one of them that I'm trying out. The other thing I'm trying out is something called Avatab, which is, well, I think it gives you an awful lot of stuff. It gives you charts and frequencies, but what I'm also liking right now, since we're on a weather kick, is it does give you an up-to-date ATIS for whatever, wherever you're at. And that was one thing that I was sorely missing. So what I'm talking about right now, Dakota Pilot, is called Avitab. This is what it looks like. It's just a plug-in that you can put on there, and I'll show you if I can. I've lost it now. Darn it! Oh, there we go. So it gives you, like right here, I had Oklahoma City ATIS information, and oh, did I just climb through 11,000? Oh, I did, didn't I? All right, let me trim down here. This is also something that's very different in X-Plane versus P3D. Is I had a hard time getting that bird to, oh, you can't see it. Oh, dang it. Oh, yeah, you can't. Okay, hang on for just 1 second here. I somehow undocked it from... Alright, let me close this and I'll just open it up here. Alright, first things first though. Let me get down to 11,000 because I'm already climbing way too high. Get down to 11,000. Get leveled out. We're hitting 32, so I should be flipping over to Ardmore, which is 116.7. Picking up speed as we descend, and you can hear that wind. Well, I don't know if you can, but I can. That's a nice effect. Guess I didn't quite need to nose down that much, did I? But that's okay. All right, set the altitude hold. We're supposed to be on the nav. I don't know. Oh, I know what I did. When you mess with the trim, it turns the autopilot off. All right, 16.7. Man, you'd think I'd never flown this plane before. It's amazing how, though, just switching over from one sim to the next really makes a difference. Okay, now we're tracking the inbound, and it is an inbound 337. So I need to zoom in here just a little bit. 337. So right now I'm at about 335, so I need to just go pop it over a couple more. And all right, let me pull up Avatar and let's see if it shows it. There we go. All right, there we go. So I had Oklahoma City pulled up. It gave me, it gives you the, not able to scroll for some reason. Okay, there you go. Gives you, all the basic information that you need, all the frequencies, runway lengths, and all that good stuff. But then this was the nice thing to have here, and that, that's what I've been missing so far. But the other thing that it has is it gives you, and I haven't tried this yet, yeah, it gives you like a little bit of a moving map if you really truly wanted it. You kind of see where you're going, and I kind of feel like that's cheating just a little bit, but it also gives you the tiles. I have a Navigraph subscription, so I haven't messed with that quite yet, so I don't know. I'll have to get that figured out. But anyway, it gives you quite a bit of stuff here. I want to do this though. I want to get this to where I can have it over on the side where it's out of the way. Oh no, now I've lost my game capture. Oh boy. Stay with me here, guys. The other thing I'm wrestling with, as you can see, is my OBS.
Former Center, good evening. 2153.
There we go. I'm back. Hopefully I'm back. My OBS and X-Plane are not, they're not always, oh boy, they don't always play nicely together. Well, so what I had done there, speaking of if you know what you're doing in OBS, what I had done there was I had set up a Windows capture instead of a display capture, because what I found in display capture is if I click off of the window, you get this little blackout for a second. So I had switched it over, which was working pretty well until it wasn't working. So now I guess I'm back to just having a little bit of a blank out. So I apologize for that, but at least I know I'll have the screen for the majority of the time. All right, so what else? Dakota Pilot give me some other tips here. You have 197 set in there, and Well, I guess I'm not seeing where you're talking about, but what I'm hopefully having is the 337 outbound from Ardmore. This is what I'm attempting to tune in here, 337, which would put us, if it's on the 337 outbound, put us on that reciprocal course. But your heading must be 197. Oh, geez, I wasn't doing my math right. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, you are. You are correct, sir. No, that's all right. 337. 330. 35. Oh, geez. 637. Oh, wait a second. 310, 20, 30. 337 is right about there, isn't it? What am I missing? Mark at the top of the dial should be 197. If the mark at the top of the dial is 197, the heading mark at the top, if you want to track VOR 337, it should be okay. Well, now my plane is going all over the place, so I'm trying to fly inbound to Ardmore. So I'm trying to fly right now. I am about here probably. I'm trying to fly inbound to the Ardmore VOR, and this is the 337 outbound radial. So what I'm trying to do, and maybe I'm not doing it correctly, is I'm trying to fly that reciprocal, which I'm calculating at 157, but you're telling me I need 197. Okay. Hey, well, I appreciate the confirmation, man, because I am not a pilot, and I am still learning about this VOR navigation stuff. So I do appreciate the double checking. Oh, gotcha. All right, so 19 miles or so from Ardmore, and then we make a turn a little bit more to the east on a 125 outbound radial, and we'll be tracking along the Victor 573. We have a number of waypoints along the way. Looks like Bonham is going to be the next one. I'll go ahead and put that in 1460. And yeah, that guy's alive, which is cool. And then we also need to kind of think a little bit about we'll be making a frequency change here in just a little bit. Where do we go? Houston Center, I think. We've got a while yet, but yeah, I think New Orleans is down there at Houston Center way. Taking a look at the event tonight, actually, this is kind of cool. New Orleans has 32 arrivals and 8 departures going on right now. That's good to see. And
Forward center.
so they're celebrating the event is not necessarily that there's a new scenery release,
Sorry about that.
but they're celebrating the opening of the new terminal. So, all right, I got you. I just saw this when I was setting up my calendar a while ago and thought, oh, that'll be kind of fun. It's an area I don't fly into very often, and it'll have some ATC and a lot of traffic.
turn right heading 300 and descend and maintain 1.
Everything's looking pretty good. I do think the sky colors maybe are a little bit better, a little more blue. It's this haze that I was just trying to get away from that being all that you see. And I know that when you're up at altitude, you do get a fair amount of haze. But I also know that there's other things going on. So we shall see. We shall see. Alright, back to the charts. $10 miles to go. And we make our turn. 125. I'm going to go ahead and just put that into the heading right now. And then we will... Pretty close. Get closer to that BOR, we'll pop it into heading mode for just a second. We'll make our changes in nav frequencies. Really don't need to make a change quite yet. We'll fly the outbound for a little while. The next thing I need for this Dakota Pilot, maybe you can clue me in onto some resources. I need a good fuel and weight kind of calculator, fuel manager. I need to know, like, how much fuel will I need to get from point A to point B, and how much, what will that do to my overall weight of the plane, and that will help me in turn calculate V speeds and things like that. I don't have anything like that. That would be handy. Any of you guys watching the stream know anything like that, that would be very, very useful. Oh boy. Now I have, okay. Okay, so that's just up here in this menu up here, correct? Just the basic one. Short, regular takeoff. Okay, very good, very good. Get you in the ballpark, if nothing else. Oh yeah, you were telling me about Little Nav Map. Yeah, you can set up the aircraft parameters. Now that, yes. Sorry, I just clicked off and back on. Alright, so one of my friends has helped me set this up, and he gave me some pointers on how to keep that blank pause from happening. So what I have is, right now I'm on the well, now I don't know what the icons mean. I have a game capture, I have a Windows capture, and I have a source capture all set up. And the game capture was working very, very well for most of the flight. That was what I had early on, and there was no flicker in between screens. But then it just, I think when I pulled up the plug-in to show everybody Avatab, that, I think that got in the way, and then that's when I had the big blank screen. So then I pulled up, basically I've just pulled back up my old screen capture. So I'm not disregarding your advice. You know who you are. But I just had a little bit of a moment of panic. I actually just flew past the VOR there. I'm about 3 miles past. So I'm going to get caught up here. And what did I say? 125 on the outbound. Spin that over. Yeah, we went well past. So we'll just keep the turn going a little bit here to about 110. We'll be able to pick that back up. So the V-speed's not quite as critical here. Yeah, the DC-3 will lift off when it's ready. Yeah, I do like that. I like how nicely it just is ready to fly. And then you set up an X-plane scene with X-plane source and capture specific window. Yep, so that's what I have right now. This is the window capture. No, this is a display capture, yeah. So let me set up. Set up a Windows capture here. It might totally. Oh, that's what I had. That's what I had before. That's what I actually had set up on the departure, and it was working pretty well. Oh, and I bet I know why. Aha! Aha! Here's my theory, Dakota Pilot. The Windows capture, when I pulled Avatab over, that became what OBS wanted to capture, not my game. And now we're back, we're fixed. Awesome. So I just have to make sure that I'm not fiddling around with Avatab there, and be okay.
2020.
Alright, let me get rid of these extra.
Cleared to Chicago Midway. Switzer 3 departure. Switzer 3. McAllister transition. Dennis Fob.
Navimap. Oh, the Navimap uses Windows capture. Yeah, and I don't have a whole heck of a lot else set up. I've got my chat box set up. I've got my alert box set up. And then just the sim. I don't have really anything else. I suppose at some point in time it'd be nice to maybe have something else. There's a lot of things you can do in OBS. I know there's some guys that have some pretty cool things, like along the top or along the bottom. They'll have like the flight route and their ETA and all that stuff, which is pretty cool, but I don't know how to do any of it, so it's just going to be something that
Cleared is filed for
maybe I can mess with later on. I flew past the Victor Airway, by the way. That's why I'm doubling back. I have a tendency of doing that. So you have the map, the AS active sky radar. Yeah, and you do use the voice commands. Those are pretty cool. That I like that. The fly live, yeah. That does seem like a good addition. Alright, let's see here. Fly 140.
Yeah, I got it, thanks.
Get back on this one here. We are outbound from Ardmore.
2570, roger. You can expect the visual approach from my 17 center.
About 62 miles to the next Vortac. Next Vortac is Bonham 14.6, which we have tuned in, and it is active right now. The information bar is fly live. Okay, yeah. I need to mess around with that stuff a little bit more. I've just been so busy trying to get, well, I've been busy doing a couple things. Number one, I've been busy trying to get this sim sort of configured and tweaked, and I've got sort of a, like a, oh, I don't, it's not a super old computer, because that's what I upgraded from, but it still has some limits, and so I do have to spend a fair amount of time getting things tweaked and sliders slid and renderings set and all that good stuff.
Midway, and we have the weather in Dallas.
So I've been doing that quite a bit. But the other thing that I will hype and promote a little bit is I've been busy trying to get ready for Monday. And we've got a fun event planned. It's an event that's hopefully going to become something that we do on a regular basis. A group of friends and myself are going to be up in the mountains of Idaho, and we're going to be flying the Prop Strike mod Default 172 in X-Plane. And yeah, you did some good deal. So I've told you about this. I'm pretty sure everybody that I've talked to knows about this, but I always like to repeat just in case. So we'll have information out here on the Discord a little bit later on, but a good friend of mine, Downwind Sim, has been working tirelessly to get the first round of airports ready to go, and he's actually been doing work in ortho with the ortho. I don't even know what the terms are, because I'm still learning it myself, but he's actually been going in and rendering or cleaning up the real-world airstrips that you find on ortho scenery and giving them kind of the once-over with, oh geez, there's a couple of different airport
yeah, I'm gonna be
tools that they use.
2153, Roger.
Let me see if I can. Well, anyway, so he's been building these airports, or going in and cleaning them up, getting them ready to go for Monday. So it's gonna be a blast. It's just
American 2578, turn
I don't even know how to describe it. It's just going to be a blast. So if you can join us, that will be a lot of fun. The more the merrier. We will be departing. I can tell you this: we're going to be departing in the Boise area. He's got an airfield there, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's nearby Boise, and we'll be flying kind of in that area. But we will have all the links to all the airports that he's done, and so you can just drop those in your custom scenery folder if you'd like. And we'll also give information, if you know how to do the ortho, which tiles you need to have, and it's not a huge area, but it'll be a fun night. Like I said, hopefully it'll be something that we do on a regular basis. And don't feel bad if you are not very good at the 170, because I think the reason why they invite me is to have that one guy that everybody can say they're at least better than that guy. To give you an idea of how bad I am, the last time that we did a little of this, I ended up on the top. I ended up flipping the plane completely over. I got off the runway just a little bit, and there must have been a little bit of a ditch, and I also hit the brakes a little bit and flipped it right over on the top. So yeah, bouncy. That's kind of my middle name. 2 bounces, I can take 2 bounces, especially with those big old bush tires, man. I figure that, like, that's a smooth landing if that's all you have. I haven't quite intercepted this outbound here, so I'm just going to do this. Let's just pop the nav in. We'll let the computer make the adjustments, because I am getting to where I need to be thinking a little bit about Bonham. Speaking of ortho scenery, I was supposed to look outside here because I do have this area I've done in ortho, and I was curious to see what it was looking like.
2578,
I
turn
don't know
left,
how
heading
that looks
200, vector visual
comparatively,
17
but
Left turning 200, vector visual 17 center, vector 25.
I mean, I don't
Fort
know.
Worth Center, good evening, yeah, 1253 with
Is this
you.
what the Fort Worth, Texas area looks like. Here's
The center sent me back to you.
an airport down here. Got some lights coming on. That looks pretty good, I think. I mean, for a default airport. I know it's default because I have 0 airfields down here. That looks pretty good, I think.
United 2053, Roger, do you see what?
He said,
I'm also going to give another add-on a try tonight, and that is I've got a night lighting enhancement that I'm curious to see how it works. Enhanced lights 1.5. Vivid sky, by the way, that was what I was talking about with the sky, and I do think the sky looks a little bit nicer. Of course, there's not a lot going on, but looks okay. We are supposed to hit some weather, by the way. If you weren't with us for the
2578 field's going to be
departure
at 11
briefing,
o'clock, 15 miles.
as we get down a little closer towards,
clear visual approach runway 17.
let's see, about where? Mineola Quitman. Which is just to the east, basically, of Dallas-Fort Worth. That's when we'll start to hit some, looks like some rain mostly, but there are some little heavier bands of precipitation. So we'll have to see. Alright, so we're on, let's 1460. Let's change that over here. Maybe. Alright, there we go. Boy, this thing really... lost the Navius I have. What's going on here? Somehow I feel like, oh, there we go. Somehow I feel like that last adjustment was not what I needed.
And 2053, try to give him a call again.
Bonham should be inbound 305, so...
you said 123.65?
133.65.
133.65, roger.
American 1111 to 7, receiver 4 arrival due to the altimeter 3009.
Roger that, descent via the CF4.
This part of the X-Plane version, the navigation part, feels also like it's a little bit ultra sensitive, and yeah, like even now I'm level and I'm kind of on this, roughly on this radial, but not quite on the radial. So I don't know. Alright, 19 miles, that's Bonham that we have tuned in.
American 2578, wind 17011, runway
And
17.
after Bonham we have a little 59 mile stretch down here to Mineola Quitman, and that's where we should hit the weather. That's probably what we're seeing here a little bit of, is this is kind of the weather that we're running into. Alright, we're now at cruise. I should have probably done this a long time ago. I need to go down to auto lean. And make sure we're 32 and 22. Must have hit some weather again because I'm jumping all over the place.
On Ave Trex, wind 180.
Yeah.
At air correction
And that may be,
171,
so maybe this is
20
actually
left,
simulating that better than, oh, auto lean doesn't work on this plane yet. Well, hey man, I'm by the book. No, I'm just kidding. It's, so you just leave it fully, full forward then, or does it matter? That's one of the few things I know. So Dakota, what you're saying here is that maybe this is actually a little bit more accurately rendered than the P3D version then, because of that, the cone spread that you're talking about. Which I mean, that would make sense. I wouldn't argue with that, but and even so, I mean, it's like I said, it's a stinking awesome plane, no matter how you look at it. How can you not love that? I think the ortho looks pretty good though. I am flying into a default airport at Baton Rouge, and I picked Baton Rouge because I thought that airport looked better than what I had for New Orleans here in X-Plane. Just being that it was default either way, so that's kind of why I picked that. Right? Totally agree with that last statement there, Dakota Pilot. Oh, there we go. There's our outside view of the X-Plane weather.
To the big DX arriving.
I like the sounds. That was one thing that I had heard initially that the X-Plane version lacked up until not too long ago. I think within the last couple of years they finally got a decent sound pack for it, so that's good to see. That's one of the fun things about flying this plane, is listen to those big old rotaries.
Holding short 17 right at Kilo 8.
Dragon 25, 78 cross, 17 right, Kilo 8, taxi park via Lima.
Cross 17 right, Kilo 8, taxi park via Lima. Thank you, sir.
So is F mod then, is that something that helps every plane then, or is it specific to the individual planes? Well, I gotta say that scenery looks pretty photoreal. And I get it that there's going to be some auto gen over the top of it, like you can see some of the shorelines. Those look pretty auto gen-y, but the rest of it looks perfectly imperfect, if you know what I'm saying. You don't have that repeated square field effect that you have sometimes.
3009.
Cool. I like it. The planes have to use it, and generally most do. Okay, so I got you. All right, hey, we're just about to
Just plan to descend via the arrival.
Bonham. And from Bonham, we're going to be outbound 126. So I'm just going to dial that guy in right there.
thank you.
There we go.
Center Southwest 296, we're pushing ready to taxi 13 right.
Well, I've been impressed with what Laminar has done.
Southwest 296, runway 13 right, taxi.
I'm really glad I had a couple of friends that wouldn't take no for an answer, and they kind of shoved me out the nest.
Charlie, Southwest 296.
And I'm really glad that they did. It's been a wonderful learning experience, and I'm going to enjoy both platforms for a long, long time. I'm not going to go away from P3D. I have a lot of things on P3D that I love, and I have a lot of time and effort invested in P3D, and I've got that sim firing on not all cylinders, I wouldn't say, because I still do have a few things that I would like to do a little bit better, but I think I've reached the limit of my hardware basically, and for the most part it's a pretty fun experience flying in P3D as well. But that said, if it's flight sim, more is, I think, a good thing. At least I've enjoyed it. All right, here we go. We're starting to head into the muckety muck here. I wonder if it'd be worth us climbing a little bit. Let's see.
Southwest 8375, Fort Worth Center, howdy.
I'm wondering if, the other thing, where did my habitat go? I wonder if it would give me a little bit of an ATIS here. I need to find some airfield close by. What would that be? Yeah, I should have been looking at this earlier. We're going to be really close to the tops already. I guess we'll just kind of wait and see what happens here. I don't know that climbing will do much other than keep the visibility good. I don't know that it would do a whole lot in terms of turbulence. I'd need to really vector all the way around, but that's not really an option at this point. 9 miles from, let's see, this is, oh, I'm sorry, we're 9 miles away from Bonham. This is a 59-mile leg. Yeah, I'm going to have to mess around a little bit more with the Avatab, because I don't know.
South 296 on that Dorset, winds at love 18010, runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
Don't know.
Clear for takeoff 13 right, Southwest 296, thanks.
Well, in we go. We're just going to kind of see what it looks like, see what happens.
Fort Worth Center, Southwest 2020. I'm going to hold short of the runway here for a minute. I'm having some issues with my rotor pedals. I'm going to get those fixed and I'll be ready to go.
Oh, hate it when that happens. That's what I'm hoping, Dakota. I think it's a little bit of precip, but I guess when you're sitting in the simulator, you don't mind. Right over the top of it, at least this chunk of it anyway.
climb and maintain 17,000.
Up to 17,000, Southwest 296.
Fort Worth Center, 2020, it's ready to go.
Southwest 2028, RNAV Dorset, wind 180 at 10, runway 10, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, will be right, RNAV Dorset.
So I do have Tyler, Texas, which is telling me a few at 11,000. That's about it. 3014 updated altimeter though, at least. Let's get that in there. Yeah, I'm pretty close. Dangerous thing about this plane for me is, well, there's two things. Number one is I get so caught up in the history of it, and I'm half the time I'm flipping through things on the other screen related to Dakotas and C-47s and World War II history and all that good stuff. I kind of forget about where I'm at, and I lose track of my navigation. But the other thing that happens to me from time to time, and this is more the case tonight, I haven't been feeling too well, is I will, when I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll actually I have a YouTube channel that has these sounds, and just for like white noise. And so if I don't do some things, I'll be about halfway dozing off, just because it's kind of what I use to go to sleep at night. Love the sounds of these engines. It's unbelievable. Beautiful. And we'll see how we do descending through the muckety buck. Almost every night that I go to bed, I have either somebody's YouTube channel, aviation related YouTube channel playing, or some kind of white noise that's an airplane sound. Ooh, yeah, I bet that the Constellation has to be, I mean, it's double the fun, right? 4 engines. It's gonna be hard for me to not spend money on that plane at some point in time. It is just too much. It aligns with the two things that I really like the most, and one of them is vintage aircraft, and the other is propeller-driven aircraft. And so it's almost a shame that I don't have it, and that I don't have the DC-6 from PMDG as well. I really, really need to find a way to get those two birds in the hangar. Well, and A to A, just, well, both A to A
111, expect the visual approach runway 10
and PMDG.
altimeter 3009.
3009, and quick visual approach for runway 10 American 11.
Downwind sim checking in with the halftime score. Is there a stream? Downwind, you were going to tell me if there was. I'll put something up here on the. I'll put something up on the. may not be listening. He might just be looking. He told me, so he's off watching a friend who's a college basketball player, and so he's not able to join us right now. But he said it might be live streamed, and so I said if it was, I would put it. I'd even put a little picture-in-picture so you could keep caught up with what's going on with the Southern Illinois. They're not the Salukis. They're a Southern Illinois something. All right. Hang tight for just a second. I need to go take care of a couple of quick things, and I'll be right back.
Fort Worth Center, Giant 7701 Heavy with you, flight level 430.
7701 Heavy, Fort Worth Center, howdy. Southwest 2028 radar contact, climbing team, 17,000.
17,000, Southwest 2028.
Southwest 296, climbing team, full level 370.
Up to 370, Southwest 296.
Fort Center, American 9, requesting IFR clearance to New Orleans as filed.
Southwest 2028, clear direct to Kuma, resume on that.
Direct to Cuba, resume on navigation, Southwest 2028.
American 9, Fort Worth Center, getting in cleared to New Orleans Airport, Merge Street departure, daily transition that is filed. Columbia to Sid, departures with me, squawk 2274.
Cleared to New Orleans as filed, and we're squawking 2274, and we have information Hotel American Niner.
Thanks for hotel, expect 17 right, be back right.
17 right, we'll call the taxi American Niner.
To flight 113, Longview, altimeter 3017. Frontier flight 113, Longview, altimeter 3017. Southwest 8375, contact Houston Center 126.95, good day.
One 2695, Southwest 8275.
American 1111, turn left heading 230, descend and maintain 6,000.
Left heading 230 down to 6,000, American 1111.
Coast 20.
DFW Center, this is Delta 552 with the final line of jet and DB1 arrival for DFW. DFW services, this is Delta 552.
American 1111 field's going to be 12 o'clock, 18 miles port side.
Okay, not that time, very close.
American 1111, send them 18, 4000, at 4000, reach speed 182.
4,000 and at 4,000.
Well, we found the soup, it looks like.
552, send them 18, 6000.
Oh, and that's bad news for the college basketball stream from Downwind Sim. Darn.
2951, descend via...
Yeah, we'll just have to rely on your in-game updates. Alright, in the meantime, let's see here. We are 60 miles.
Got a 2951, descend via the Berry 1 arrival, DFW.
We're still tracking bottom? Yes, we are tracking bottom. So we need to be... Golly, we should be actually... Might even be past Quitman.
7701, are we going to be given a descent?
1400.
Giant 771, yep.
Let's just take a quick look here and see.
Yeah,
we're actually all the way past our next
Okay, we can't descend via the arrival.
our next
at this
VOR
point,
there.
we've left us up too
So
high.
we're past Quitman. We're
Have a great
inbound
future. We'll
now
catch you on another time.
to, let's see, East Texas Regional, Gregg County VOR. Well, she's getting dark in a hurry here, isn't she? Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
wasn't able to send you because you're outside of airspace still, so you should be mad at Memphis, bro.
Oh, okay. Texarkana, yeah. Probably kind of getting down in that area of the country right now, aren't we? I've not been down this way too often.
Making a lot of long clear visual.
Been down there to see some family.
Strictly visual 787 American 1111.
I live in the kind of the Houston area now. They lived in Conroe at the time.
140 to rejoin the localizer.
Oh, I see. I missed a call.
140 to join.
Altimeter call 3017. Darn it. Hate it when I do that. It's pretty close to what we have set. So you're south, a little further south of Texarkana now. Alright, so back to business here. We, from Quitman, 42 miles down to Longview. Excuse me, Gregg County. And that's where we should really get into some of the heaviest weather. And then it'll really truly be about relying on our instruments. As I say that as we had the nav turn off on us, and so now we're going to try to, we may not be able to come back around, it might be too far away. I'll tell you what we're going to do is this, let's make our heading something like about 0, Got 100. Let's just do that. Maybe a little too far off. See if we can get turned. We'll start heading that way.
Fort Worth Center, South.
Try to intercept that outbound.
Moderate chop at 340.
Yeah, I did, but it didn't move it at all. So I thought I'd just get it pointed in that direction, and there she comes. Now I'll get it.
Turn left heading
I can turn that on.
0 to send them 18. 4,000
There it goes.
At 4,000 reduce speed 180.
Left to 230, down to 4,000, reduce speed to 180, down to 552.
Here comes the rain. And the default cloud effects, I mean, they're okay. It doesn't look too bad. Funny how picky you get. I can remember some of the old flight sim days where you'd kill for clouds that look like this. Right at the tops of it. Alright, well there we go. 15 miles out. And again, this is just a 42-mile leg, so we'll go out there 21 miles. We'll flip it around. We'll grab Gregg County 112.3. Alright, see you in a minute, Dakota Pilot.
Fort Worth Center, American 9 ready, taxi 17 right, we're at 123.
The aircraft calling to them.
American 9ers at spot.
Excuse my slurping there as I enjoy a little hot chocolate.
American 9.
So the 552, join the runway 17 center, localizer field's going to be 12 o'clock, 13 knots, quarter second.
We're trying to localizer and the field should be at 552.
Now 552, turn left heading 1. It's going to be a 150 heading to rejoin.
We have already captured the localizer, so we should be descending.
552, roger.
Might be getting some pretty good sunset light here in just a little bit.
Fort Worth Center, American 1675.
Catching it on the clouds just a little here. Alright, 112.3. Let's go ahead and plug that in. That'll be a little bit of an adjustment, maybe. Not too bad.
The aircraft calling for clearance on the ground at DFW, contact the tower 2655.
Does bump our nav off when we change the frequency.
Negative. The aircraft that was just calling for the I-4 clearance at DFW, contact tower.
Alright, well, let's take a quick look here.
And American 9, monitor tower 2655.
Flight update, progress report. Here we are, just on the outer edge of this storm, and then we're going to be slicing our way down here to Baton Rouge. Still getting some pretty good traffic into Moissant Field. 23 arrivals.
Arrival, Delta 3009, Delta 2951.
Alright, here we go. We're starting to see a little bit of that new enhancement. Haven't really done any flights in the evening or the night, so I'm I'm excited to see what this does look like.
Affirm.
That's our kind of a halfway decent sunset.
And do you know what runway we should be expecting for Delta 2951?
Expect the visual 177.
17 Center, roger.
Don't know why we're banking so hard. What's going on here? Slight adjustment, I guess, in the VOR radio, but just some weird things still happening with the navigation here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what's going on, but shouldn't be quite the drastic adjustment there in the middle of a Victor airway like that, especially when you're already established on it.
American 1111, contact tower 126.55, go ahead.
Let's see, do I have lights on? They're in op, so they must hopefully be already on. Oh yeah, they can flip those up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So they come automatically, I guess. Panel lights are on, which is good. I like the green glow. I think that's pretty cool. Kind of unique to this plane. Yeah, quite the aircraft. Okay, so just above and to the left, so right up in here. Gotcha. So they're cranked up already to the max. Okay, very good, good to know. Learning things by the minute here. Getting smarter by the minute. Can't beat that. Okay, those lights look pretty good. Kind of clumped up and clustered up like you would see in a more populated area. Another airport here unknown to me. Yeah, I see the overhead. We got those guys turned up. Yeah, very nice, very nice. The thing I do like about this is that you can turn the windshield wipers on. That's kind of cool. Those are not modeled in the P3D version. Yeah. Here's our rain. And just about 3 miles now from Gregg County. After Gregg County, turn on the 114 outbound.
Center American 970 feet.
1099, get you 5x5.
Okay,
Oh, I don't want to adjust that one. That's not the right one. 114. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Pop this over here. Heading mode. Make that turn. Let's see how close we are. 1, there's 110, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, pretty close. Nav engaged. Actually turned just a little too early there, but that's okay. That's kind of tripping me out. It's kind of like the Millennium Falcon getting ready to go into light speed or hyperspeed or whatever that is. Alright, I think this is a, what do we have? 60,
Good evening.
this is a pretty long, yeah, 134 nautical mile legs. This is a little bit of a longer one.
133.65 for
And this takes us down to
pilot earlier. You're doing a great job. Thanks for the
Alexandria, and then Alexandria is our kind of our second to last, kind of our second to last vortac. Then we head down to
2028's back with you.
Fighting Tiger, and that pretty much has us into Baton Rouge.
I have to step away for a minute.
South 2020, Roger.
The nice thing about getting down to Fighting Tigers, we should be, well, I guess it just depends on which direction the storm is heading, but I was going to say we should be through the worst of it here. This next probably 20 minutes or so is going to be the heaviest in terms of precipitation. Almost looks like snow right there. Yeah, it will. Especially I've got this chrome you know, with the shiny wings and stuff. We need lots of polishing.
Southwest 1719, I have your clearance device ready. Southwest 1719, go to New Orleans, Tebert 3 departure, Toka transition as filed, 18-5000, expect 350 once detected departure, departure with me, squawk 2273, reback squawk code only. 1719, squawk reback, correct, expect whatever's closest to you, call me for taxi.
I didn't see your last comment there, Dakota Pilot. Yeah, what key is mapped to the keyboard there? What's the soap dispensary hotkey? Is that Shift S?
American 9, clear direct 4.
Control Shift S. Okay, there you go.
Clear direct.
I knew it was something.
Thank you.
Man, X-Plane has everything. Everything. Kind of thought maybe that I'd be getting a mid-second half update from Downwind Sim on the Southern Illinois at Carbondale, wherever they are, college. Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. Rabarius24 checking in with a bunch of emojicon thingy-majobbers, man. Hello, Rabarius. That looks a little bit like what was hitting our windshield here just a couple of minutes ago. Oh, you know something I probably should do is, just in case, we probably ought to have the pitot heat on there. Oh, we got a raid coming. Very nice. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's what that is. I see. See, that's how little I know. I'm still so new to all of this.
Southwest 2020, leave by airspace.
Appreciate the raid, man. Glad to have you along.
Frequency change approved, Southwest 2028. Yes, sir, thank you.
Just your typical propeller head. And the older it is, the better, or the more backcountry it is, the better, in my opinion.
35 to American 9.
And it doesn't get much more vintage than the DC-3. What a plane. So let's see, we are currently on a, what did I say that was? 134 mile leg. We're about 30 miles out. We are currently outbound Craig County.
Go ahead, squawk 2214.
So about 67-ish miles. We'll flip it over and we'll tune in Alexandria.
Shit, 1540, get you radar.
And then we probably ought to start taking a look here at the Baton Rouge. Oh no.
Thank you very much. Glad to be back here. What's your word?
This could be bad. I just closed my Avatab accidentally. I was just trying to go get the Baton Rouge ATIS, and now I'm afraid to do it because last time I opened it up,
Southwest 1719 on my 17 month, yeah, Echo.
I wish me luck. I'm going to try to open this up again here. And this.
Petrol got 4%, will be closing in 30 minutes.
Alright, we should be clear. Okay, so I got Baton Rouge back. I don't know, you guys probably couldn't see that, or you did for a second. I'll read it off to you here. Baton Rouge weather. Yeah, winds 120 at 3. Clear. 3020. Alright, so that means let's just might as well brief this approach. This arrival, I should say. So if we are looking at winds 120, probably a 1-3, that'd be nice. It's kind of a straight in deal there, and that's plenty long enough for us. I don't know. Special event parking, that sounds like where we ought to be going, because that's us. We're a special event here. And so we'll probably come in here on 13. We'll hopefully get to Kilo exit and go right in your Kilo Delta or Kilo Alpha into the special events parking area. That sounds good. Just in case, do we have an ILS frequency? Yes, we do have an ILS frequency. I will probably tune it in just to make sure I practice it. 110.3 and on an approach course of 133. Alright, that's about as straightforward as it gets. We do have minimums of 267 feet. I want to keep that in mind as we make our way in. We've got a ways yet though before that, like I said. Not bad to get a little bit of a head start on things. We are actually going to be jumping over to the Houston Center here in just a little bit. So Rabarius, what's your flavor, man? What's your aircraft? What do you like to do in the flight sim world? So on unrelated notes here, I keep reading on all of my social media feeds. I'm seeing all this stuff about is Disney now on Netflix or something? Because like all of my friends are binge watching all these old Darkwing Duck, and I mean, did I miss something semi-important? I mean, I know I was sick and laid up all day today, but did I really miss that much?
Wind is 160 at 5, remain 17 left over there. Got a 2951 to center, maintain 4,000 at 4,000, reduce speed 180.
Yeah, I just didn't know why all of a sudden I'm seeing all these old kind of classic cartoons coming up, so I figured it must have been something like that. They must have some sort of Roku, or there's a million of them, right? We're kind of a Netflix family ourselves. I do remember
2951 to center, maintain 4,000.
Watching a lot of those. A lot of those with my kids as they were growing up. Of course, they were big fans of it, so it is kind of nostalgic.
2951 at 4,000, reduce speed 180.
1000 feet, ready speed 180, Delta 2951.
Alright, everything is looking pretty good. And I apologize. Now we're dark and kind of boring, and I tried to time it to where we would just be getting to Baton Rouge as the sun set, but I obviously didn't do my math very well. But it has been a pretty good test of the night lighting here. The airports that I've kind of flown past they're looking pretty good. Oh, okay. I see. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out, Dakota Pilot. I did not realize that. I got to get myself caught up on my streaming services.
Question 1514, I had a question for you, sir. How much
How
longer
are we doing here? 52. Okay, we're getting close. We said 167 would be, or sorry, 67 would be our halfway-ish point. We'd flip over and start tracking that inbound.
Gotcha, thank you very much. We're just requesting to leave the contact for
Well, and
that,
one of my friends said, as I was kind of reading, I went back on his stream a little bit, and he said, like, when this comes out, predict the over and under of the service going down or something. And so he put 2 days as the over under, and then I see today he posts he was wrong. It crashed on the first day or something like that. So, oh boy, Disney.
Back at 1675, Forward Center. Good evening, radar contact. Climb maintain, flight level 360, clear direct Tiger.
Flight level 360, direct
I
Tiger,
know.
back at 1635.
Quite an empire, but yeah, they've slipped a little bit here recently, haven't they? They've fallen and can't get up. Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting with some, and I don't know as much about it as like in the video world, but I know there's a lot of artists in the music world that have fought against some of these streaming services. Like one of the ones that I like to use is Spotify, and there's still some people that some artists that don't want their music out there, and they just are so hung up on, I don't know what it is exactly, that it's I mean, it's just weird. And then they have kind of the same problem. Then when they finally get their act together and release the music, then that just becomes a mess. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to it that I don't understand, though. So, oh, okay, here we go. Dear Apple, Hulu, Netflix, Disney, Amazon, CBS, NBC, and everybody else trying to create a streaming service, we are not going to pay for 8 of these. Work it out. Oh, geez. I missed another call. Over to Houston Center for Frontier Flight 113. See you. Missed 2 calls there. I gotta quit
729.51.
thinking about Darkwing Duck here.
15 miles.
3215. 3215. And we're going to flip it over.
Southwest 8375, Hobby will be 12 o'clock,
1610.
10 miles, descend and maintain 3000, and report the field in sight.
I blame that one on Dakota Pilot for getting me distracted.
And Southwest 8375, descend and maintain 3000.
1610.
Descend and maintain 3000.
Come on, baby. Having a hard time finding the click spots here also. Alright, nav mode engaged. Houston Center, good evening. Frontier Flight 113 at 11,000.
Alright, what's the call sign?
Frontier Flight 113.
Frontier Flight 113, Houston Center, hello. The Baton Rouge altimeter is 3023, say approach west.
3023, and we would like the ILS runway 13.
Alright, Frontier Flight 113, clear direct relay, Romeo Echo, Lima Alpha Yankee. Cross relay at or above 2000, cleared ILS runway 13 approach.
Clear direct relay, cleared for the ILS 13 approach, Frontier Flight 113. Alright, I gotta get focused here, guys. Let's see here. ATIS 3023. Relay, so that's going to be, let's see here.
Southwest 1241, read 5 by 5. Southwest 1241, runway 13 right, taxi via Yankee Echo, cross runway 13 left and 17.
My call sign's Frontier Flight 113. Can I work with distractions? No, I cannot. I absolutely cannot. I am easily distracted. Alright, so this is interesting. So I'm right now 116.5. Nope, that's not what I am. I wonder if I can tune in 116.5. Fighting Tiger is my next VOR. Okay, and I'm not tuning that in just yet. So I'm going to have to wait for just a second. So this is kind of...
Southwest 4465, wind 170 at 5, runway 13, service takeoff.
Alright, this is going to have to be a little bit of a multi-step approach here. So I've been cleared to relay, which is the initial approach fix for the ILS runway 13 approach. The problem is I need Fighting Tiger. Here's what I'm looking at. I need to tune in Fighting Tiger so that I can have a sense of where I'm at, because I can't just go. Right now I am basically
1441, verify squawking 46.
Basically here, just past Alex. And so I can't go exactly direct to, because I don't have anything to tune into, and it doesn't really give me anything on the outbound. Relay is right, kind of like right here, basically. Oh, there it is.
1441.
Relay.
Wind 1205, runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
Now what would happen if I did this? Would it give me a little bit of a planned relay? What would it give me here? 117. All right. Well, that'll work. That'll work. I have my little nav map. I can track it. Yeah, that'll give me close enough. 117. Then once I get closer to it, then we'll be all right. So, all right. In the meantime, though, I still have to get to Alex. I'm still 55 miles away from there. So 116.10. That's Alex. That's tuned in. All right. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to get to Alex, and then I will depart Alex on that 117 heading. 117 outbound. Yep, that'll work. That'll work. And I suppose that I could look at the Avatab, and it could help me as well, but
1241, continue holding.
again, that's kind of the challenge of this. Hello, Mr. Moon. Jeez, is that the moon or is that the Death Star?
Radar contact, climb maintain, flight level 230, clear direct Gabi, join the Alamo 2 departure.
A lot of definition on that moon.
That was 1441, did you call?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just using, I guess you could use that. I mean, it makes sense to have just kind of one tool, I suppose.
Negative, Southwest 1441, clear direct White Lake, Lima, Lima Alpha, climb and maintain, flight level 230.
Alright, that's White Lake.
Being mooned. Yes, you are, my friend. I hope you're not skipping out on some professional development there, Mr. Slant Alpha.
And Frontier Flight 113, just verify your descending pilot's discretion to cross the initial approach things at or above 2,000, correct?
We will descend to a cross relay at or above 2,000. Frontier Flight 113.
Frontier Flight 113, roger, thanks.
Looks okay. That's what I just said. That is exactly what I just said.
1241, wind 1201 at 5, runway 13 right, clear for takeoff.
It looks like the Death Star. It's actually been the most exciting thing that's happened in the second half of this flight. The first half of the flight was marred by video difficulties, but I think we've kind of got things squared away. It's that darn downwind sim that got me trying to use Avatab, I think, that cost me a little bit, but I think I've troubleshot. I'm back in business. Yeah, now that there's a mod, it probably does that. There probably is one that does that. Isn't there a new Star Wars coming out here too? It would be kind of fitting to sneak something like that in. Maybe Mr. Laminar is a big Star Wars fan. You never know.
Southwest 1241 radar contact, climb and maintain, flight level 230. It's 230 for Southwest 1241.
I'm way behind in the Star Wars, the new Star Wars, by the way. I'm way behind.
Southwest 82, sorry, what's your call name? 8365. Southwest 8385, Houston Center. Hello, the airport should be to your 12 o'clock, approximately 10 miles. Report the building dispatch. Southwest 8375. Southwest 8375, wind is 1205.
Okay, 40 miles to Alex. From Alex to relay.
Southwest 1241, clear direct White Lake, climb maintain, flight level 230.
Yeah, Dakota, and I kind of hear both. I I hear that, but then I also hear that
230.
there's been some really cool new sort of characters that have been developed, and they've managed to kind of
Southwest 621, I got you. Clear on the
balance the old story with the new story, and I mean, I don't know, I'm such a fan of it, and I
621, clear to the
just need to at some point in time sit down and watch, because I do like those sci-fi flicks.
Southwest 621, read back correct. Expect runway 13 right for departure, advise ready to taxi. The Hobby altimeter 3019er.
Yeah, and I've watched.
13 right.
I've only watched the first one, so I can't. I mean, and I liked it. I thought it was a good, it was a good movie, and I liked the characters, and I liked how they, worked in some of the old guys and left you hanging a little bit. But I just didn't, for some reason, when the next ones came out, I just didn't watch them. Life kind of got in the way, and now here I am, like 9 behind or something. I mean, they've made a lot of them here recently. Well, so much for getting out of the moisture here. I thought we were going to be able to get out, and I think actually we may be in snow right now. I think that's
621, contact Houston. Actually, go ahead.
potentially what we're looking at here. Baton Rouge.
Southwest 621, church.
ATIS, by the way, still looking similar. Let me refresh this. 130 at 6, so better wind actually to go right down runway 13, but a little bit breezier than it was when we checked last, but still clear. 10 statute miles of visibility. Oh, so you're even talking about, so yeah, you're talking like episode 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, those ones were okay. Or yeah, disavowed 1 through 3, the ones that came out there. So that's kind of been our talk a little bit too, Slant, is apparently I'm the last guy to know that Disney now has its own streaming service. I've been out under the weather for most of the day and yesterday, and I woke up today and all I saw across my Facebook stream were people watching Darkwing Duck and that kind of stuff. I'm like, what have I missed? What's going on?
Up to 50310 for Southwest 1241. Southwest 621, contact Houston.
Yeah, and I would agree with you, Dakota. The original 3 that they did were awesome, ahead of their time. The 3 that came out after that were not as good as the original 3. They were still pretty good though. I enjoyed them. And then these ones that have come after that, it's felt a little bit more like they're trying to get like a Netflix series, but they're also, I think, part of why probably we don't like them as well is that I think they're targeted towards a different audience. All of us old guys, they're not. That's not who they're writing these new ones for.
After JPEG, cleared via the Nancy 1 arrival.
After JPEG, Nancy 1 arrival, United 520.
Okay, 24 miles. Yeah, we've lamented the sort of lack of
1441, climb maintain
clear vision from the Disney Corporation, and It's
Southwest 1441, your comms are coming into static.
they're on shaky ground, but yeah, who knows? So I was telling Dakota that I have a friend that he's been talking this Disney Channel up, and I didn't know at the time what he really truly meant was this subscription or not, or whatever, subscription streaming service, whatever it is. And he put the over under on number of days before it crashed, and he put that number at 2. And I thought, man, that's pretty there's not much confidence there, man. Well, I just saw a post from him. He said it crashed on day 1 basically. But I'm sure they had a few more people. Well, maybe not. Did they beta test? Do they beta test stuff like that? Wouldn't they have to do something just to know if they would be able to hold up with the amount of people that wanted to? I don't know. Yeah, it's today's IT. They don't always have much of a clue. So yeah, because it's all, I mean, it's going to be a memory driven, server driven. I mean, it's going to have, all of those are just going to be huge issues if you haven't thought that through. But I don't know. I'm just glad it's not my job. I have a hard enough time just flying a fake DC-3 to Baton Rouge. Yeah. Well, I hope we don't lose center here. I know Fort Worth was getting ready to hop off there at the top of the hour. I hope we can keep Houston for a little bit. We do have
Southwest 1441, that was just static.
a little bit of flying yet to do, about 20 more minutes or so. Well, 30 is what it's saying here, but yeah, it's true. AVF was the same. You can only do so much to, I guess, guinea pig test it. Because then on the flip side, if you devote too much in terms of resources to it, you know, then that's not profitable. And so you got to find that sweet spot. Yeah, like I said, I'm just glad it's not my job. Oh, there's the big major course shift. I think we just got caught in the tractor beam of the Death Star. Look at that thing. Those downwind sim binoculars, man, how great are those?
Maintain 300 knots or greater until slid.
Roger, Houston Center, Southwest 449.
Yeah, Dakota Pilot, it sounds like maybe that's what happened here.
Southwest 449 Houston Center, hello, descend across slid at maintain 1,250 knots. Maintain 280 knots or less until slid. Pick up the restriction at slid.
Roger, down to 11,000, maintaining 280 knots or less, 4.9.
I do like that night lighting. The downwind telescope. There you go. Genius, my friend. Hopefully he'll watch later and he'll get his R&D team on that right away.
Southwest 1441, clear direct on end. Southwest 1441, I'm not getting any voice for you.
Okay, so we have a 72 nautical mile leg, which is our final leg, and that takes us to the initial approach fix relay at 117. I've got 117 dialed in here, although what I'll probably just do is just spin this around and we'll track 117 on the outbound. So we're pretty darn close to that as it is. Give it a couple clicks, we get on 117 outbound. We kind of lost it a little bit, but I'm guessing that's because we're getting closer and closer to the VOR.
Southwest 1441, still nothing.
And then it'll just be a matter of 72 miles in. We need to drop from 11,000 to 2,000, so 9,000 feet, about 30 miles out. That should be when we can begin that descent.
Fort Worth Center, Houston Center, I've got.
And it's looking pretty stormy, even though I know my ATIS says it's clear. There's going to be a little bit of precipitation, I think, between here and there.
Yeah, direct to Audad on the arrival. Alright, he's going to proceed direct Audad for you. Thank you.
Alright, there we go. To from here coming up. Let's go ahead and engage the heading mode here. So don't get too far off course. Should have done that earlier. And then we need 117. There's 120, 19, 18, 17.
125.5.
Yeah, it made that little turn and kind of got us off to the left ever so slightly. Let me nudge it back a few degrees.
Houston Center, good evening. WestJet 1540, can we with you at
Oh, stream chat's no longer on the main
WestJet 1540, Houston Center, hello.
Wonder what's going on. Chat box.
Delta 117, clear direct, Green County.
Oh, I know why. Alright, try it now.
Golf Charlie Victor, Delta 117.
Try now.
WestJet 1540, descend across Rice and maintain 8,000, or correction, 9,000. The altimeter 3020.
WestJet 1540, descend and maintain 9,000 feet, 9,000, correction. And for Houston, it's going to be 30.20, thank you.
WestJet 1540, let's cross Rice. Rice, Romeo, India, India, Charlie, Echo at 9,000.
Gotcha. WestJet 1540, thank you very much. We'll take note of that. Cross Rice at 9,000. Thank you.
Southwest 449, contact Norlands approach 125.5.
Yeah, so what happened earlier was I switched over, like you recommended, to, instead of having a game capture, to a screen capture or window capture, whatever, and it was working great. It was working really well, right up until I pulled the Avatab off, and then as soon as I got the Avatab messing around with that, the SIM window went away, and all of a sudden all it was recognizing was the Avatab window. So I had to set up real quickly a new source, and anyway, in the meantime my chat box got moved down below, so that's why you weren't seeing it.
Descend across Audad at 11,250 knots, American.
And good evening, Al South. We are inbound the Death Star, ETA 20 minutes. I expect to be intercepted by TIE fighters anytime now.
Southwest 1441, descend across Audette at
Okay, I'm
maintain
not loving the fact that I'm not
11050
intercepting
knots.
this outbound radio. This is going to be a little bit of a drastic change here, but
Yeah, you're good.
yeah, it's not wanting to do
1441,
that
that's a little
either.
better.
All right, we're gonna spin it here and try to go about 150 and see if we can't get this guy heading in the right direction. There we go. Now I can see it moving. This is our final 72 mile leg. And I'll have, hopefully with any luck here, my first successful AeroWorks DC-3 flight in the books. Alright, getting closer. I think we're going to go ahead here and arm the nav.
Southwest 1241,
Fly that guy out as far as we can, I suppose. Why am I turning this way now?
Down to 240 for Southwest 1241.
Interesting. Okay.
West Jet 1540, contact Houston, approach 120.
72. It is. It's the same DC-3 that you flew in the mountains of Idaho, if I recall. Successfully, I have to add. From what I hear, I wasn't there, unfortunately. But an impressive feat.
American 9, contact New Orleans, approach 125.5. Over approach 25.
So I need to be descending at about 30 miles out. So I'm going to count out here about 40 miles and then we'll start our descent.
Southwest 1241, descend pilot's discretion across Audette at maintain 110,250 knots. The New Orleans altimeter 3023.
Right, we'll descend at our discretion across Audette at 110,250 knots, Southwest 1241.
So slant and Al South, I'm testing out a couple of new plugins. I'm testing out the enhanced lights 1.5, which is supposed to kind of make the ground lighting look that much better. And you missed out a little bit on Vivid Sky, which we enjoyed as the sun was going down. I think it did help a little bit, kind of tried to just get away from that sort of that gray, hazy default X-plane sky. I think I'm just going to have to break down and
or about 4,100. Cleared RNAV GPS
by
17.
active sky and it's X Enviro or something. But yeah, it's worth trying out a few of these free plugins. I also have a couple that are going to be kind of neat for our VFR stuff. There's a U.S. Forest update, which makes all the trees supposedly kind of puts more realistic trees and stuff, and then a wind farm plug-in. So, oh no, some of those enhancements kill you. Yeah, well, I was a little worried about that, but I've been checking here, and I'm still getting right now 50, which is good. That's the other beautiful thing about this plane, I think, is that it is really a frame-friendly plane on both platforms. Yeah, well, I hear you, man, and you just got to kind of maximize what you have. But I have found in the comparison field.
Center KDB 9337
that my system appears to run the X-Plane stuff a little bit better than the P3D stuff. Now, I haven't compared apples to apples. Like, I don't have, you know, a flight beam, Denver, and a PMDG 737. You know, I don't have that.
JPEG to
but
join the Nancy 1 arrival up to 230.
what little things I've compared that have been
Center Mooney
close,
checking in level 6000.
I feel like I'm getting much better frames on X-Plane. Now I say that, and then I get some things that are like if I pan back and forth, you'll sometimes see the cockpit will be a little bit chunky and aliasy.
Okay, 3021, 51 Juliet.
But yeah, it's just the way it goes. And that's exactly right. I still haven't installed the Zebo just yet. I think that's going to definitely be the big comparison.
Southwest 368,
All in good
contact
time.
Center 126.905.
2695.
And that was for Southwest 368.
All right, there's 30 miles. 10 more miles. We'll start our descent. Probably pull back on the power just a little bit here also.
All right, Skylane 7, Juliet Bravo, Roger. Climate me. I'll just vector you around Philly, cancel by fire reports on the ground. 7 Juliet Bravo, turn left heading 200 vectors for Z. And at 520, contact Houston, approach 120.05.
120.05, 9520, see ya.
Southwest 1441, contact New Orleans, approach 13, correction 125.5.
Alright, 25.5 for Southwest.
Well, this should be interesting, boys. I've had so far one pattern and one landing in the X-Plane version of this plane, so this will be my
Skyline 7
first
Juliet Bravo,
cross-country flight.
180 RNAV, runway 17
We shall see.
Yeah, 7 Juliet Bravo, just verify.
All right, Slant. We'll see you next time. Thanks for checking in, man. Have a good night.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and just let's just start the descent right now, just so we don't end up
Southwest 621, Houston Center, hello, climb maintain, flight level 230.
don't end up in a situation where we're having to really think nose down, and I'm going to go ahead and just start the descent.
Southwest 1241, contact New Orleans, approach 125.5.
All right, I am going to also put in the VOR frequency, which was 110.3. I'll put that in nav 2 just to see when it becomes active.
Contact New Orleans, approach 125.5. Skyline 7, Juliet Bravo, turn left heading 270. Correction, turn right heading 270, thanks.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the checklist here. ahead, put the landing and taxi lights back on. Fuel pumps can come back on.
And Mooney 951 Juliet, the RNAV runway
We
29.
will put the mixture to auto
Mooney
rich.
951 Juliet, clear direct, still cross, still ladder about 2,100.
We will
clear
hold off
RNAV
on the
BTR
props.
runway 29 approach.
Okay, clear.
Just for a little while. No need to redline things just yet. Get ourselves down a little bit closer.
Skyline 7 Juliet Bravo, clear direct, FIGDU, or FIDGU. They don't make these things any easier to say, man.
Alright, could that potentially be our airfield? Let's see, yeah, we'd be within 30 miles of it.
125.5.
There is no ATC at Baton Rouge other than Houston Center, so we'll be just with him the whole way here.
Houston Center, good evening, United 297, climbing through 11.5 for 16.
United 1297, Houston Center, hello. Climb maintain flight level 230, clear direct on ad.
Alright, the other thing here for the ILS-13, on missed approach, we're going to climb to 700 and then make a right-hand turn to 2000.
United 297,
We're going to hold at the LSU Fighting Tiger VORTAC, which is 116.5.
And Frontier Flight 113, wind 110 at 3, runway 13, clear to land.
13 clear to land, Frontier Flight 113. I'm thinking that might be our area here. So get myself down to 2,000 or above. The
Skyline 524, Mike Golf, report cancellation of IFR this frequency over
relay
flight change to advisory frequency approved.
that initial approach fix is, I'm having trouble reading this chart here. 12, 10.8. So 10.8 DME, so about 19 miles out right now.
Number 7, Juliet Bravo, IFR cancellation received, squawk VFR, radar service terminated, frequency 2 approved, have a great flight. Southwest 621, contact Houston Center 126.905.
So we are looking at about a 20 miles out now. Well, 20 miles to our initial approach fix and another 10 from there, so we're still a ways out. We need to get down to 2,000. Whoa, geez, boy, my nose went down there. I bumped something. Don't need to get quite that carried away with the descent. Sorry about that, passengers. And this must be, there is a False River Regional that we're coming up on. That must be what we have here. This is probably what we're looking at for Baton Rouge. So just accidentally bumped my trim, so that turns your nav off. There we go. Only got another 1,000 feet or so, and then we can level off and start to kind of take a look at what we have. Hopefully we're halfway close.
Wind 1603, runway.
We'll be intercepting at just a slight angle, so that should be good.
Runway 29er, clear to land, 951 Juliet.
And Mooney 951 Juliet. How do you feel about the Mooney plant closing today?
Caught me by surprise, honestly.
I don't think we were all expecting that.
Yeah, how about that? I don't know if you heard what he just said, the Mooney plant. I did read that. Mooney is shutting down.
Yeah, I guess they were doing pretty bad last year, so I think the people there knew it was coming.
That's too bad, though.
Yep.
Alright, there's 2,000. We're going to level. We're going to let our speed kind of equalize here. And okay, so we have actually kind of flown as far as we can on the outbound, and now we need to, I guess we might as well tune in 110.3. We were on course, so we should be fairly close. Alright, we actually have that tuned in. And let's grab the approach course, which is 133. Okay, let's spin that around. So 2, 3, right? Make sure I get that right. 31, 2, 3. Okay, so we're heading to where we want to go, and here is, if I recall, yep, there's our approach.
And at 336, climb maintain flight 320.
Alright, localizer is alive. I can go ahead. I probably could arm the approach at this point. 22 miles out still. Speed's looking pretty good. I think I'll keep it there at about 120, and then we can add our flaps and stuff as we go.
Can we get higher for 297, or is 230 going to be our final today?
United 297, my apologies, climb maintain flight 270.
I'm a little worried if I arm the approach right now, if it'll take me kind of in a hard left-hand turn to try to intercept that localizer. I think I'll wait. Get a little closer.
Houston City, United 336.
United 336, go ahead.
Center, can we get 280 for the flight level?
Yeah, United 336, climb maintain flight 280.
280, United 336.
We'll wait till about 15 DME, and then we'll go ahead and arm the approach.
Number 41, go ahead.
Ooh, spinny wheel. I don't like that. Okay. Whew. It'd be a bad time to have a crash.
Houston Center, good evening. Southwest 2605 270 7240.
Alright, I had a few calls going on there. 4 Mike Golf, clear, full call sign. That's right, yeah, 4-1 Golf, clear, full call sign. That's easy. November 4-1 Golf, squawk 4557, and ident. And Southwest 2605, did you call up?
Houston, good evening. Southwest 2605 260
Southwest 2605, Houston Center, hello. Descend across slide at maintain 110.
Kind of starting to see a little bit of maybe what could be the runway.
Center cross line at cross at 1,250 knots, and I missed the altimeter 2605.
The New Orleans
It is
altimeter
nice
3023.
nice and clear right now, even though Sky Vector shows
And November 41
some
Golf,
moisture,
Charlie.
but we'll take it. Again, we're going to touch down. We're going to hopefully exit
Okay,
right on
36,
Kilo.
call up. Alright, November 41 Golf, aircraft type.
Alright, seeing the airfield, would figure the town of Baton Rouge would have more lights around it here, but maybe I'm not on the right part of town. That's alright. We'll get it figured out. Okay, there we go. That's close enough. On the approach, yeah, just like I thought. Take me on a hard left to go intercept it, and then it's gonna probably S-turn me a little bit. Yeah, not too bad, I guess.
Radar contact 20 miles to the northeast of the Austin airport. Maintain VFR. We'll see. We're
Okay.
we'll shoot on course. It's been a long night.
Those air traffic guys, man, they do. They put in some
It
time.
was a lot busier than I thought it would be, definitely.
That's cool, though. That's what you want.
Yeah, we had an event over in New Orleans celebrating their opening of their new terminal.
All right, we are on the localizer.
And November 41 Golf, say you're, I knew you were VFR to the east, but what's your destination?
Still below the glide slope, which is where you want to be. Airfield is in sight.
Alright, 41 Golf, thanks.
Again, it's a right-hand turning climb to 2000 to the Baton Rouge, or excuse me, the LSU Fighting Tiger
Southwest 2605, that'll be
VOR.
a approach decision. I'll have you over to him shortly.
No worries, 2605.
3023 is still the altimeter, so we're good there.
41 Golf. Bye. Stand by.
Giving center, Southwest 1719 with you, descending to 240.
Southwest 1719 Houston Center. Hello, descend across pod at maintain 11,000.
All right, we're going to start slowing ourselves down a little bit here.
We'll descend across Audit at 11,000 at 250 knots, 1719.
And if we're going to be that bouncy, I think, well, I do want to see if it intercepts the glide slope and all that. I want to see that on at least this first time. Then we can mess around with flying it by hand later on.
Southwest 2605, contact New Orleans approach 125.5.
25.5, 2605, you're doing a good job.
Good evening in Delta 86 with you and flight number
Almost looks like we're a little bit left to center there.
86 Houston Center, hello, descend via the Gessner 1 arrival. The Bush altimeter is
Doesn't do,
3020.
so the glide slope, it's not going to do for me, huh? Doesn't look like I'm lined up very well that way either.
Delta 86.
Well, we'll take her nice and slow, and if we don't have a glide slope, then we'll pop the autopilot off and we'll just fly the rest of the way by hand. I see. Well, that's a bummer. So that's one That's one thing else that PMDG does that this one doesn't quite have yet. So we'll bring her into about 5 DME, then we'll just turn off autopilot. Just fly the rest of the way in by hand, not a big deal.
Houston Center United 336.
United 336, Houston Center.
Center, sorry, did you clear us down the DC-1?
Yeah, I did, but I'll give it to you again. Descended at Nancy 1, the Bush altimeter 3020.
3020 down the Nancy 1, United 336, sorry about that.
No worries.
Gotcha. Now wait, I am on the glide. I'm in the descent here, so maybe this one, maybe we're okay here.
3446 Houston Center, hello, descend across, slide at maintain 1000, 250 knots.
Third notch of flaps. So
And Houston Center, Mooney 9512 Juliet. We have to run the wing set. We can cancel IFR at this time. Our intentions are on touching.
Oh boy.
Followed by
There's a big
VFR departure
adjustment.
south, 1,000 feet, and we'll pick up an IFR back to New Orleans at that time.
Alright,
okay, 5 DME. Let's put the gear down.
Received, squawk VFR, frequency change approved, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
Okay, I'm satisfied with that. It's not fantastic, but it's okay.
United 297.
And I'm going to go ahead and just turn the autopilot off, and we're going to just fly it in ourselves the rest of the way.
Send a pilot's discretion across all data at 1,250 knots. United
I do feel like we're getting pushed a little bit to the left here, so I'm going to try to bring it back. I think we keep it on about that 500 feet per minute will be okay.
125.5, good night.
Crab it a little more than I thought we would. The wind's 130. Should all the winds moved down to 150, so yeah, we're not right down the runway like we were before. I've overcorrected a little bit. Okay. I'm a little below the glide slope here.
Chavo 1719, contact New Orleans approach 125.5.
Almost feels like it's pushing me to the right. Interesting. There we go. That's a little better. Picking the glide slope back up a little bit. Almost a little too high. That's kind of what I do. I'm kind of Mr. Overcorrection. Lights look good. I think those street lights over there, those ramp lights, whatever they are, those look pretty dang good.
306446, contact New Orleans approach 125.5. And number 41 Golf, I have saloon aloft over College Station at 12,000, wind 26018, at 9,000, wind 25018.
A little bit long.
And number 41 Golf at 9,000, wind 25018, temperature, Fahrenheit, that's weird, temperature 42 degrees Fahrenheit, 33 degrees Fahrenheit is wind chill.
That was, I think, what we wanted for our high speed, but not quite going to get that one. That's okay.
Frontier Flight 113, welcome to Baton Rouge. Exit right when able, taxi to parking. Remain this frequency.
Hanging a right, taxi to parking. Frontier Flight 113. We'll stay with you. Oh, I think I maybe went off the taxiway there just a little bit. Oops. Alright, welcome to Baton Rouge. My first time I've ever been here. I'm ready for some Cajun food. Well, actually, I'm really not, because I don't feel well. I have not. I've been under the weather with a little bit of a stomach bug, but normally I would be up for some Cajun food. Let's see here. Where do I want to go? I want to go to the special event parking, which I think is over here.
Right. The bush altimeter
737 over here, so we'll head that way.
Right, 9336.
Landing lights can come off. I'll leave the taxis on. And yeah, we'll just kind of go over here somewhere. We don't need to pull into a gate. That was fun. Has its differences, there's no doubt about it.
United 297, contact New Orleans approach 125.5.
FedEx 757 or something like that. 767, I don't know, what is it? Has its differences from the PM or from the P3D one, but it has a lot of things that I like, and it has the same essential feel and character that I really have grown to love. So yeah, if you don't have it, it's definitely one to consider putting in your hangar, even if you're not a vintage prop guy. It's just a lot of fun to fly. All right, let me see if I can find where the parking brake is. That's the one thing I have a hard time finding down here. There we go. Parking brake set. And yeah, let's I tell you what, I'm gonna do this. I don't know how good the replay is gonna look like, or what it's gonna look like, but let's take a look. At night, who knows, right? I got a couple camera angles set up here that I think might look kind of cool. There was that big correction I made. Oh, can't see the replay. Dang. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why it's not showing the replay. Well, you're right. You can't see it. Alright, so I will do this then. There's no sense in doing a replay mode if it's not flight menu replay. Yeah, so that's what I did. I went up here, flight menu, toggle replay mode, but you can't see anything now, can you, on the screen or anything? Wow, that's wild. That is really, really wild. Well, you know, still a work in progress. So here's what I'm going to do in the meantime. Oh, there we go. Well, I at least have my at least have my outro and my cockpit showing. Cue the outro music. Speaking of that, let's talk about what's coming up here on the stream later on. Let's see, I've almost lost track here. So I missed Tuesdays. I felt bad about that, but this was fun to do. And then so Saturday coming up, we're going to be back in the PMDG 737. Speaking of that bird, we're going to be flying in. It's the Freedom Trophy Fly-In event from Madison, Wisconsin to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's kind of a college football thing, so it should be fun. And then, of course, the big one on Monday, the 18th. Everybody's going to be in the Prop Strike 172, and we're going to be in Idaho, and we're going to be getting our bush wheels dusty and all that fun stuff. So I hope you're able to join us again. Look for more information on the Discord channel that's linked there, or that's listed there on the outro graphic. That's where it'll all be posted, and we'll try to put things up early enough that you can get stuff installed if you want to. Of course, if you don't install anything, we're going to be flying into airports that are going to be modeled regardless, so you'll be able to fly with us and still have fun, which is the whole point. Beyond next Monday, I really haven't thought too much. I do have Thanksgiving break coming up. I do want to get into the L1011 and the DC-8 at least one more time each, maybe more. So, but I'll have all that stuff up later on. It's just good to be back, feeling good enough to do a little flight simming and have you guys along for the ride as well. So Dakota Pilot, Al South, Slan Alpha, everybody that's stopped in today, even a couple new faces, much appreciated. It was a ton of fun hanging out with you. ATC for putting on a midweek event. Thanks, guys. That also was phenomenal. Had great ATC all the way from Oklahoma City on and down the pike. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, I'll be looking for you guys on the TCAS. Take care. God bless.